Hi, so my name's Javier, and I am a neophyte to Luciferianism. So I've been practicing this since November, December of 2022, and it is now June 17th, 2023. So I'm struggling a bit with grasping possibly how important it is to hold on to all of the values. For example, I reached a point where diet has become a thing, where I've faltered a few times. I ended up grabbing a pizza at maybe 2 or 3 points. So mixed foods and acrylamide. I also ate out once, aside from that, or maybe twice, where I had a plate of Vietnamese, it was like a bowl of separate foods, not exactly mixed, but it was an entire bowl of foods that were cooked and then plated together. And those contain some solanine as well, so I'd bugged with that. And that's one thing that I'm interested in bringing up, is the notion that solanine can be destroyed with the use of vinegar. I've read that vinegar destroys solanine in potatoes after about 5 minutes of soaking. I thought that was something that was important to bring up. The Luciferian Doctrine does not denote that. I've also been wondering about other points of nutrition that haven't been brought up. For example, how there are countermeasures to the carcinogen acrylamide. Does that mean then that we may utilize countermeasures, or to never ingest in the first place? To never ingest in the first place means probably a safer route, so breads such as mantou and bao are preferred because they don't produce acrylamide. Those being steamed buns. I'm interested in why only one spice is allowed, or why mixed foods are unallowed. And I'm also interested in learning about other aspects of nutrition, like more toxins. More about toxins and the one spice rule. Did I mention that? Yeah, the one spice rule. That might be all I have for the eating portion for section 3. I did also want to bring up the parasite thing. So using that word seems counterintuitive to part of what the document is interested in spreading. So if we're interested in being more moral, using words such as parasite seem counterintuitive in that there's a connotation. From my personal experience as a schizotonic entity, one who hears voices, like a conscience, other people's voices, but the way I interpret it is my own perception on how the world sees me and or other entities. And so, excuse me, that lettuce grows, if anyone's into that. I just started trying to grow with the thing, and they haven't done a very good job early on. The communication's kind of off, but yeah, so the timer turns on and off, the light switch does, and the water does as well. It runs on a timer, like 15-minute increments or whatever, so every now and then it'll turn on and off. Anyways, returning to the discussion, I believe that hearing these voices in my head are like listening into and tuning into other people's thoughts and ideas about how we relate. This means when I hear the word parasite, it sounds abrasive, and shuns people away from the goal of spreading health and morality and ethics. There have got to be other ways to explain and describe the goal in a more inviting way. So the author or authors of this book seem a little distraught, scattered in the sense that, well, there's that entire section where they say to skip for a while until you reach the next destination, the next bolded lettered section, or something like that, right? And so it's very confusing, and I'm unsure what to think about it. Why have it in there and keep it there? Were they intoxicated, and then just left it there? And then left it there? I mean, early on in the book it says that in order for a message to get across, it must be given clearly and in a straightforward manner that's easy to understand, it says. But there are holes missing from the book, from the document. So it seems incomplete. insincere in some ways. I mean, there's a lot of really good information. My health has improved quite a bit. And it's drawn me towards a more healthy lifestyle. I lost quite a bit of weight, about 20 pounds, and that happened in approximately a month. And then I learned about these toxins and anti-nutrients. So it was just a very big bonus to have picked up the book. So I'm still struggling with finance, and so that's delayed part of the health restoration portion. I've just thought up the next piece of the nutrition and diet section. So I myself am a vegan, which means things like meat are just off limits to me. Or not to say that they're off limits, because I can make the conscious decision to not be vegan, but because I choose to be vegan, it simply is not an option. However, vegans have built meats products, or alternatives, I'll say, and that intrigues me because they are mixed foods, mixed ingredients, but hold just about the same value, so to speak, as traditional meats. Nutritionally speaking, that is. And then comes the ethical clause of partaking in animal products. Choosing to take the life of an animal, or being okay with taking the life of an animal for consumption, doesn't necessarily coincide with the full moral and ethical implications of being a perfect life form. Unless, of course, one deems it okay to kill, which is part of the God clause. God isn't there to believe in right or wrong, just the purpose. So that opens the idea to why we partake in any moral justification or rights or the philosophy of our nature. So I've yet to get past chapter 3 too far, because I have yet to there are just certain parts of the book in which I'm not supposed to continue reading after until I've performed the rites of the previous sections. And I may have jumped through some portions. For example, I believe the organic textiles portion I was supposed to have moved much of my life from that, but living in the Pacific Northwest currently means that there's lots of rain, so plastics are part of the lifestyle. While they're not wholly perfect, and I'm interested in finding the safe plastics so that we can utilize them as safely as we can. As an aside, I have read an article at some point that says that some plastics, or potentially all plastics, are now biodegradable. It is yet to become very popular, widely popular, but the research has been done to the extent that it is possible to now dispose of plastics. We've just got to popularize the research. Now that's out of the way. There were some other points, but I am no longer interested in recording for the sake of time and interest. That is for the listeners. But these were some of the points that I deemed necessary for me to continue moving forward as a Luciferian or Luciferianite, I'll say, because while I am struggling, I am putting in effort to abide by many of these facets. It's helped me thus far, so from my experience, I am not one to fully consider myself an apostate, regardless of the dilemma or dilemmas that I've experienced along the way. That being said, this is my journey reading through the Luciferian Doctrine. Let us find a way to defeat the inner Satan, and there's the light again. Lucifer. So that'll be all I have for us in this video. It was a pleasure. Thank you, and I'll see you again soon.